Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Rainbow Crossing, a podcast where Gen X and Gen Z discuss life's challenges and how we face them as queer people. We have these open conversations to foster a sense of community through different perspectives. My name is Julio Guzman, and with me is my roommate, friend, bestie, anything you can think of, because last time I got called out for just calling him my roommate, Daniel!
Hi. Yeah, somebody was like, roommate doesn't cover what your relationship is.
For sure. Which
and
I get it.
They're
It
right.
makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. It actually was really sweet that they were like, oh, you two have a special bond.
Sure.
And
Yeah. It's just we display roommate specifically because you wouldn't expect two people of different generations like this to be roommates.
Right. We also want to make sure that there is a line here that
Yeah.
isn't sexual.
Exactly.
And it's not.
Ever.
At all.
Ever.
No.
You disgust me.
Wow.
I'm joking. I'm
Well,
joking.
Well, it's so good to be back.
Sure
I
is.
was, we've been swapping travel.
I know I say this a lot, but I'm tired.
Yeah. Same. I got back from Miami two days ago. My good friend Seth lives in Miami, and he invited me. And I thought the ocean air might do my allergies some good. And I do think my voice sounds better
1,000%.
than last week. I still have a little bit of a cough, but it definitely healed something inside of me.
Yeah.
But the travel was still a lot, and I'm glad to be home. But you're about to leave.
About to leave randomly, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just my life.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers is driving up to Chicago for the holidays. She's gonna be up there for 3 weeks, and she's gonna drive alone. And her mom was like, "I don't want you doing that.
Yeah.
Could you find somebody to drive with you?" And then she asked me, and I did have the days off, so decided last minute to drive with her. She's gonna fly me back on Monday, but.
Right.
Still, I was not expecting a random 18-hour drive in my bingo card this week.
Right. But you have a fondness for Chicago.
Oh, for sure. I love Chicago. So I was
So,
like,
yeah.
I'll go for sure. And my bestie lives up there. So I get to see her for an evening or two,
That's
even
cool.
if it's just chilling.
You ever been to Chicago during the winter months?
I went in March of 2023, which it was still
March can
pretty
be-
cold.
yeah.
It was like beginning of March, like the end of February, if I'm correct. So it was like
Yeah.
20 something degrees at
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Definitely windy, and that added some of the coldness. But when you're with the when you're with the right, no white, when you're with the right people.
Wow. Wow.
Sorry, that came out. If you're with the right people, it's just cold.
Yeah.
Vibes will warm you up.
When you're with the white people, it can also be cold.
Oh, it gets colder, ice cold. Where it's like,
Oh.
we need some heat up in here.
Yeah, some spice, which you bring to the table, so
Oh,
it
for
all
sure.
balances
And
out.
I'll bring spice wherever I go.
Yeah.
I am in the most comfy
Yeah, I see that.
vibe that I mean, this is normally my vibe at home.
Yeah.
Especially at nighttime. I was like, should I dress up? We're talking about New Year's. We're talking about goals
Right.
here. I'm like, do I want to look like this as I talk about my New Year's goals? But then I'm like, I just napped. I just took a nap and I woke up with a little and I instantly went, I hope this man didn't bring it to me. And by man, I mean you.
No, this man gave you nothing.
I hope so. We're just gonna-
Except for all my love
For
and
sure,
adoration.
For sure,
That's it.
For sure. That better be it. Because I'm not driving like this.
You're good. You're fine. You're fine. But we are talking about end of year, new year.
Wrap up, Spotify,
all the
Apple
goodness.
Music, replay,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
vibe.
Before we dive into that, I feel like there's a topic that everyone is talking about that we should also talk about.
Luigi Mangione.
Did you
I
say
don't wanna get
Luis or Luigi?
Oh, I said Luis.
Let's-
Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
I definitely smoked before this. Obviously pre-ritual, but I meant to say Luigi Mangione.
There we
There we go.
Yeah.
The man.
The myth, the legend.
is what he really is. I mean, I don't condone violence, and this place isn't a place for violence, obviously. But you do reap what you sow. And sadly, that might end into a person with $10 billion getting shot for not providing his clients with the specific healthcare that they need.
Obviously, there are so many layers to this story.
For sure.
People online, media have run with all the different angles. The clearly good looks of this person,
yeah.
the intelligence of this person, and the thought that he put into this or someone put into this. There are all these conspiracy theories that maybe he wasn't working alone. Maybe there's a bigger plan at play here. There's
So much we don't know.
So much we don't know.
All I know is that a CEO got murdered by somebody who, obviously, if he was a different color, it would be a whole different story. He would probably be considered a terrorist. He would probably be considered a bunch of negative things that aren't accurate, which is even crazy because that same day, another 26-year-old murdered a homeless person who was POC and having a mental health issue, and he killed him.
Right.
And he got bail. But since the CEO got murdered, oh no, honey, we're ramping everybody to find this one person who murdered the CEO.
Right.
And in my mind, free Luigi. Free Luigi.
Well, I think it's important that we talk about why we're so invested in his plight, because it is our plight.
For sure.
It's the plight of the average American, and money is involved with this, and that's why there's a difference between him and the other person who killed someone that same day.
Also, if you think about it this way, justice is never served. Like, when cops are killing a bunch of people all the time, randomly, people of color, when people went out during COVID for Black Lives Matter, nothing changed. Everything still happened. Like, nothing changed with all those big movements and everything. The same things still keep happening.
Right.
And this is the first time we've seen something where it's like, oh, people from all sides of the spectrum are in support of this one murder, which is kind of sad to say, but in reality, it feels kind of like justice. Justice that we, the average American people, don't get to see every single day.
Well, we look to our leadership, whether that's corporations or it's government, to make some kind of change, positive impact. These are the people who are supposed to be leading on our behalf, and we don't see that. Since the Affordable Care Act and then the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, which helped lower the price of like insulin and was trying to cap drug prices and that sort of thing. I think it comes into effect actually next year, so we haven't seen the effects of it yet. But aside from those two legislation passes, we haven't seen anything that has positively impacted the quality, the cost of healthcare. So those prices just keep going up, and we look around the rest of the world that has, for the most part, free universal health care, and we see that they are being better served. And then we see something like UnitedHealthcare, where they had allegedly employed AI software that was reviewing claims, and that they knew it was faulty and was throwing out 90% of the claims. They knew that this was happening. And why would they be doing that? Because they wanted to further their bottom line. In 2021, they had $18.2 billion in revenue. It increased by 38% to $25.1 billion as of this year. 38%, and we're talking in the billions of dollars.
It's crazy.
And that can't be passed along to the average person who's just looking to get an MRI approved. And even though they're going to have to pay their $15,000 deductible anyway, and they just want this approved so they can find out what the problem is in their body. And a lot of times, these insurance organizations are just playing hardball. They're denying the claims, knowing that the claims are actually valid, just to see if the people will just accept it and pay for it themselves out of pocket, or just not pay for it at all, not do it. But if they actually file a rebuttal, then it will actually go through. But they're doing that knowing that a certain percentage won't do it, and that's going to save them money. What a horrid way to make your money, to have your career, your life.
Yeah, 68,000 people plus a year die from not getting the insurance benefits that they need to survive.
Right.
And more than that, those are just the deaths. Like, there's 60,000 plus people that just don't get their coverage of what they need. They still live, but they don't get all the things they need to do to heal.
Yeah.
Which is even more crazier. It's like, oh, I have this insurance and I'm paying for it, but also you're not going to help me cover it for it. What am I doing? What am I paying for? Like, what is this?
Right.
It's all for you to just dingle life in front of me and be like, well,
yeah.
Can you get it? Can you get it?
Yeah.
We'll see. Actually, no, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah. So the love for Luigi it's a twofold thing. Obviously, there's a lot of people being lustful in their approach towards him.
Sure.
I
And
think
he is an attractive man, but that's not what's driving me.
that's on the back burner.
Exactly.
Honestly, it is that he did something. It's almost this kind of Robin Hood mentality.
Oh, for sure.
Where he's putting the good of the people. I don't think he was doing this just for himself.
No.
I think he was
doing
making
this
a statement.
he understood that the health care system is fucked. I mean, he hurt his back. Obviously, there were some pictures that were showed that he had surgery and he had some like nails and screws like on his lower back area. But there's also some, I mean, we don't know all the truth, but there's some speculation. Like, I do know that at the age of 25, you are covered with your parents. After that, you're on your own.
Right.
He's 26 years old. He
Right.
just graduated college. Maybe he has some debt from college. Maybe he can't afford what he needs to do to take care of his body properly because of the health insurance coverages. And that probably put him in the state of mind of thinking more about like, wow, I've done nothing but live and work. And here I am struggling and seeing everybody around me also fall due to this corrupt system.
Yeah. It's hard to say I support someone taking someone's life. It's really hard to say that. However, when we see all of the other avenues have been utilized, the protest, legislation attempts, and they don't go anywhere, what else do you do? How else do you...
They're twisting our arm.
Yeah.
They're twisting the arm of the average American person to do something that they normally wouldn't do, something radical in a way.
It certainly...
It's causing revolution on both sides, which is a good thing because now more people are becoming aware of these things and are becoming aware that it is a normal thing that is happening every day in America.
Anytime we've seen significant change in any country, really, but in our country, there has been some act of violence that precedes that change. And it's unfortunate that it requires that. But people are certainly aware. They're certainly up in arms. They are supportive of this cause.
A lot of people have been living in fear every single day. So it's probably the people above's time to get a little scared and worried too. And maybe, hopefully, this doesn't scare them, but also helps them react. Oh, why is this happening? That's the real question. We don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
We're not trying to kill people. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to kill anybody.
If anything, we're trying to save people's
Exactly.
lives. And it's unfortunate that this is the path that we're kind of being forced to go down.
Where's this energy for school shooters? Where's this energy for other people that are actually like hurting groups of people? Maybe it takes white on white crime to happen to shoot somebody in the back that's wealthy to understand that, oh, our people, quote unquote, the white people, are seeing that their same people are also killing them for specific reasons. So maybe that humbles them. Maybe that helps them realize that they're just as human as us.
I think it certainly has opened some eyes, and it will be fascinating to watch because I think that this is the beginning of a change.
Oh, for sure.
And it'll be really fascinating to see where all of this goes.
It's kind of scary. I mean,
It's certainly a little scary.
like the way 2024 just went and how it's ending. It's like 2025, girl, what's coming?
I'm still in denial, but yeah.
I mean, just because things around us are happening that might not be the most positive doesn't mean we can't be the most positive person we can be and create that around us.
Right.
Because you can still do you. You can still live peacefully and happily in a world that isn't. And you can create that, and hopefully that spills over to everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to take care of ourselves and the people around us first and foremost. And as we look back on this wild year, this crazy, just one thing after the other, it feels like I'm still in shock.
Let's talk about it if you want to. I mean, we can talk about the world and we can talk about us.
Yeah.
I mean, 2024 specifically with the world, the war on Gaza is still happening. And to me, that's the number one. Well, not just Gaza at this point. Now it's everybody around Israel. At this point, it's like, what's even more fueling is that you see these senators and all these people. We don't solve issues with violence. What are you doing in the Middle East? You're slaughtering more people than one CEO getting killed.
What was the senator who actually signed
hypocrite?
Yes.
And it's not just that one. It's multiple. It's multiple people that are saying this, and then it's like, look in the mirror. Look what America is providing over there. It's way worse.
We'll never wake the hypocrites up. We just have to overthrow them.
I'm going to.
they're not going to wake up. I mean, I understand we have to fight the fight, but we have to replace them. We have to get rid of them.
Yes.
Because they don't care. They're in it for the money or the power or some combination thereof. And so we have to forge our own future for the betterment of the greater good, not the individual,
sure.
the 1 or 2%.
So there's that war that's still going on.
Yeah.
And could be intensifying. We got another 4 years with President Trump. We are also going towards a economic depression is what it feels like.
I mean, yeah, we'll see how the tariffs situation and the
honestly, the outside
immigration
world of 2024 hasn't been cute. But I've been focusing on myself.
Yeah.
And still focusing on the outside world, obviously.
Yeah.
But this year we started our podcast. That's an amazing accomplishment for both of us.
Yeah. This has been a wild ride.
It has. This is what, episode 365?
This is episode 25, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is wild.
That is crazy.
That's about half the year.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah. We both have had a lot of personal accomplishments this
for
year.
sure. I mean, I started coaching this year. It feels like a lifetime ago.
Which has been a goal of yours for
Yeah.
a long time. And so for you to see that come to fruition has
For
been
sure.
amazing.
And I've practiced way more on DJing and have grown so much on there. I haven't been making as much as I'd like to, obviously, because I still have 1,000 other things going on.
Yeah.
But it has been nice to get it behind the decks and feel way more comfortable. And there's more music coming. And actually, my goal next year is to create an EP with 4 to 5 songs. We'll see how it goes.
Will be amazing.
That's my goal. That's my main goal.
And let's
One of
put
them.
it out there so we'll hold you accountable to it.
I mean, it's every year you got to give yourself a certain amount of goals.
Yeah.
At least 3. At least 3 of things that you haven't done, or they could be something that you've been working towards and just give more energy to it and grow those things and actually feel accomplished by accomplishing something that has to do with one of those things.
Yeah.
And coaching, check. DJing growth, check. Podcast wasn't on my bucket list, but here we are. Check.
Yeah.
I also competed in other physical activities and placed very well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been nothing but growth on my end.
That's amazing.
Which has been good.
It's wonderful to be able to look back on a year and feel that level of accomplishment.
I can't think of another way to do a year. Like, how can you be content going into a year with nothing but the same energy and vibe to look forward to?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not it. You got to keep growing. You got to keep moving. You got to keep feeling those things that make you happy. And honestly, those things will make you and keep you young. Mentally, at least. I mean, hello, look. What are we doing? 30 here?
That's right. Yeah. No, same for me. Some of my accomplishments were less obvious. Some were emotional accomplishments. Overcoming the breakup that I experienced the last year. They take a while to get over when you've been in a relationship for a long time. So to be able to come out of that and to feel better and to get back out in the world, in the dating world. And so like, I consider that to be a big accomplishment. I'm very happy to be able to take my steps forward and get back out in that fun dating world.
Girl, we're switching roles over here because
You're checked out.
What I've been telling myself, especially this month, listen up, people. You have until the new year to express something to me, because if not, I am tapping out. I am locked out. Boys, you will not be in my phone and in my mind the year of 2025.
Okay.
Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm done. I'm over it. Over getting ghosted, over men not being able to communicate properly. I know what I'm worth. I know what I can provide. What I can provide is immaculate vibes and 10 out of 10 things. And there's nothing I can't do. Can you think of something that I can't do?
Be
If
humble?
I can be humble.
Oh, okay.
I can be humble, but this is not the place to be humble. This is a show about us. This is a place where we talk about us, where we talk about our lives. So why wouldn't you want me to just be like, oh my God, yeah, great.
I actually meant outside of the podcast, but
Outside of the podcast, I'm even more humble. No one ever sees me coming. The only time I don't become humble is when someone tries to place me somewhere where I'm not. I'm like, no. That's when I become unhumble.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, okay, now people actually have to see what I can do.
yeah, you're gonna let your light shine no matter what. It's just
Whether I choose to brighten it up or dim it down.
Yeah.
I have the ability to do so. Because not everyone is worthy of this light, is what I'm learning and understanding.
That's true. Absolutely.
I got so much. The love I give, I have not met anybody who can match it. I mean, you have that good energy.
Yeah.
But for a romantic partner, not there. Not there. So that's it for me. I'm done. 2025 is about me. About me and the people around me that are already here that I love. And if new people come into my life, you're bringing the energy, and I'll match it. Of course. But I'm not looking for it anymore. It's been my biggest struggle in life, boys. So I'm done. It's gonna be a hard challenge. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something that I need to practice, and I have been practicing it as we've gotten closer to the end of the year. I'm like, okay, less that. Yeah. Distract yourself with something else. Put your phone down. You don't need. Well, I will tell you still what's up. If you leave me hanging, whether you think I'm crazy, quote unquote crazy, I am going to teach you how to communicate. Whether you are telling me, hey, I don't want to see you anymore. Or, hey, this isn't the vibe. Perfectly fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle whatever you can say. Yeah. But you will deliver what you need to say, because I'm not going to go another year of letting these boys. Who's going to check them? If no one's checking them, they're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I'll be the villain in the story. Well, because I know I'm not. Because in a way, you're like, oh, you're like blowing me up. No, you're just not giving the bare minimum energy to begin with. So it's like, hey, especially if things were going great and you just randomly just gone. No. You're not escaping me. You're going to give me an answer before I like completely cut off. Like, just be a man. Say what you want to say. If you ain't feeling it, you ain't feeling it. Or if you've had a busy day, simple, say that. But a lot of people don't say these things. They just be like, crickets. And that's not my vibe. I'm ready to light the match and let the wick go all the way down until you're ready to say what you want to say. And I'll teach you how to say it. And if I'm the villain afterwards, then so be it. Because I'm moving on either way.
The ones who are mature enough to receive the message will receive the message.
I'm talking about men 28 and above. Yeah. I'm younger than them. This is coming from a younger person. Well, like, hello.
Yes. But we're all on our own journeys. And we all some people need to
speed it up if you're acting like a child at 28. Speed it up, please.
Just wait till you get into the 30s. Girl, it doesn't get a lot better.
Well, because we ain't checking people enough. Check them.
You and I disagree on this because it's not my job to check them. I have enough taking care of myself.
Hey, it doesn't take much to check someone. You let them. It's as simple as a text. You send it. They're going to be like, oh, fuck, that kind of hurt. And it'll get them to respond. Hey.
Yeah,
the truth does hurt.
But I'm just like, they have responded. Their no response is a response. And that's all I personally need. And I got
no response to me is no balls.
And that's fine. I don't disagree with you on that, but that's all I need. I don't need to try to teach them anything.
I mean, I'm a coach. So, like, I enjoy teaching people things. Mm-hmm. Whether that's a better mindset or physical mobility. Yeah. We're working on it. Yeah. Because why are we content being the way we are when the way we are is honestly hurting a lot of different people? I have a strong heart. So, like, the things that they're going to hurt me, it takes a lot to hurt me. Other people might not have it that easy. You could be their little shimmer of hope, and then you just ghost them randomly because you can't deal with your feelings. Yeah. And that's not fair to them. Just be fair to yourself and to them. If you got the energy to text somebody and entertain it for slightly a little bit, whatever it is, you entertained it something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be man enough to face it.
Right. I agree. I don't want to be the teacher in this scenario. I got enough to worry about. On a brighter note, on a more positive note, why don't we talk about an end of the year category that I know our audience wants to hear about. This is not something that we here in Texas have been able to personally contribute to because we are blocked from it. But the 2024 Pornhub most viewed gay categories.
Anywhere where I thought you were going to go with this. I did not know we were going to porn. What the hell?
It's something that we can all relate to.
Sure.
The number one category. Do you have a guess?
No clue.
Twink.
Okay, work. The year of the twink. We love it. Come on.
They're back in fashion again, I guess.
So.
Number 2 is bareback.
Oh, V.
Number 3 is straight guys.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Every gay guy started liking a straight guy.
Right.
Is how it started.
Right.
And if you don't outgrow that, then you're probably going to be liking straight guys for a while.
Yeah. Number 4, daddy. Number 5, big D's.
Are you reading your list?
This is not my search.
Oh, I thought this was your top 5. This wasn't your Pornhub, Spotify rap?
No.
Gotcha.
No, this is all of Pornhub.
Okay,
all of gay
gotcha.
Pornhub.
I was like, you're telling me a lot about yourself right now.
I thought you already knew all this. Number 6, group. 7, black. 8, cartoon.
Okay.
9, cream pie. And 10, Asian.
I'm happy there's no white.
Where is the... Nope, not on there.
Nope, not on the list. Sorry, vanilla. I didn't want to offend anybody.
Well, vanilla means something else in sex.
What does it mean?
It means plain, just missionary style.
Gotcha. So,
Nobody wants to see that.
no.
Unless it's Luigi Mangione.
I mean, that's Italian. That's different. That has a lot more flavor.
Yeah, that's
than
not vanilla. Yeah. So that's a more lighter note to wrap up our 2024 year. But we should also talk about, do you have resolutions?
Yes. Boys.
Yeah.
That's a resolution of mine.
Cutting boys out.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Practicing those things. Getting horny and being like, nope, don't need my phone.
Yeah.
Nope, keep it away. That's my vibe.
Right.
Going into 2025. And then, where is it? R.I.P. to weed.
You're giving weed up?
Well, I'm not like giving it up. I'm just
Cutting back
extremely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, right now I do have this pen, and this has been making me smoke more. Not more than I normally do, but more conveniently,
Yeah.
I will say. Because I'll probably like hit this maybe 6 times a day.
Okay.
Once I finish all my weed, I am definitely going to not get any and also only save getting high for special occasions.
Okay.
Because I need to see what I can be like without it. In a way, I feel like it has helped me. If I do the right amount, I feel like I can navigate more efficiently through the things that I need to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see what the difference is, what I'm like. Do I need it as much as I think I need it? Or is it just become so natural to me that it feels like I need it? So we're all just going to see and find out. And if I do need it, then, hey, we'll just slowly start back up again. But that is a goal of mine. I just want to see what it's like. I enjoy it, and I've never had a bad encounter on weed. If anything, it's helped me regulate my emotions a lot more as well, because back in the day I was popping off left and right.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I appreciate the less popping off.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's good to regulate foreign things you put into your body in general.
For sure.
So,
I mean, that's the only thing that I've been putting into my body for over 2 years now.
Yeah.
I want to say.
yeah, you
At the new year, would it be 2 years?
that
Since
you
I've
gave up
been-
alcohol, yeah.
alcohol, any other recreational stuff that I would do occasionally, partying at festivals. Yeah, that's my number 1 and 2. Oh, and I have other goals that I want to achieve, like obviously the EP,
Right.
and applying for a couple reality competition shows.
Oh, how fun that would
Which
be.
you've known. I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
The world doesn't know which ones, and I don't like to completely say
Yeah.
which ones I'm looking for, but I'm aiming for them.
You would
That's
make for
the
good
dream.
TV,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think so too.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a fun 2025 ahead of you.
For sure. A lot of goals, but
Growth.
if you aren't reaching for something, what are you doing?
Right.
So the goals are high, but I'm going to keep swinging.
Yeah. I am not a big believer in New Year's resolutions. I've never sat down and wrote out, because I always think that, you should start pursuing something. I don't need a date. I'm not thinking, in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to start this thing.
Yeah.
If I want to do something, I'm going to start on it, eating better, exercising more often, etc. And those are things that I already normally do. So it's a continuation of projects that I'm already working on. I don't think we've talked about this on here, but I've written a book that I would love to see published. There are so many hoops that you have to jump through to get a book officially published. So I'm going to continue working on that. I have my own business, as you know, and I don't really talk about that on here either, but I have continued to grow that this year. And we've got some exciting projects that I'm working on with some of the people that I'm partnering with starting in January. So a lot of fun things happening. And next year is a big birthday year for me. So it's kind of a combination of
5-0.
that. Yeah. You want to go into that, being the best version of yourself that you can be.
1,000%.
So, with work, I'm focused on that. With hobbies, I'm focused on that. I eat pretty healthy, but stay on that track. I really want to ramp up the exercise a little bit because I've been so sick the last couple of weeks that I haven't been able to really hit the gym.
So what I did a lot of 2024 was putting myself in situations that maybe I necessarily didn't want to do, but if I did them, there would be no harm. So why not be a little uncomfortable to grow and maybe get something out of that experience? And I did that multiple times. So if the universe is reaching out to you and maybe there is no harm, do it. Maybe once a month you do something you've never done before.
Yeah.
Something as simple as like going to this museum you've never done. Or if someone's inviting you and you're like, I don't know, gun it. Just go for it. The more you experience different things, the more you'll hopefully get to understand what you enjoy in life and the more you'll get to grow.
Yeah. Stretching the limits of your comfortability is never a bad thing. It can really, putting yourself out of your comfort zone can really help you grow a lot. It can also lead you to in a new direction that you didn't even realize that you were interested in. So it can lead you to meeting new people. Feeling uncomfortable is just a sign of growth. Lean into it.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that it doesn't make me that uncomfortable anymore, but speaking for me has always just been something that's been like, I don't want to say difficult, but it's been hard to grasp at times growing up.
Yeah.
And this has really pushed me to speak more. And for the goals that I want, I need to be able to speak and hold conversation with about anybody that I do.
Absolutely.
So like growing this podcast, there'd be moments where you'd be like, what do you want to talk about? And then you would pitch something and I'd be like, no, I don't have any words to talk about that. No, I don't want to talk about that. And then now, anytime you pitch something, I'm like, sure, let's do it. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to have to talk about things that you don't want to talk about, and you need to be able to.
In life in general, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I've been forcing myself to just practice those things. And that's something that has built comfort in the uncomfortable.
Yeah. And that's awesome. As the person sitting across from you, I have taken note of that. And I personally, in our relationship, I appreciate it as your friend, as your roommate, and as your co-host. And all of the aspects of our relationship, I've seen it, and I appreciate it.
It's all a mindset shift.
Yeah.
That you have to practice, and eventually it'll get easier and easier.
And a lot of it goes back to the idea of thinking from a positive perspective. And, this is uncomfortable to me, but it could be this really great thing. I can make it this great thing. I need to know how to do this sort of thing in order to grow.
Do you have more goals going into 2025?
I don't have a lot of other goals, but I do want to share like a couple of thoughts on the goals that I think we should have for our community, the people who are watching us, and just our community in general, because we're going to need some goals this coming year. And I really want to make sure that, number one, that we are supporting everyone in our community. It's easy, especially for me because I'm white and could be straight passing, I suppose, to get by when we have the regime change that's coming in, the right-leaning regime. But a lot of our trans brothers and sisters don't have that luxury. And so I do think it's really important for us to stand up together as a community. And unfortunately, there are some people on especially gay male side of things who aren't supportive of our trans brothers and sisters.
Because they're still privileged.
Exactly.
Just because you're gay doesn't mean you can't be privileged.
Yeah. But if they're coming for our trans family, they're going to come for you eventually.
Oh, for sure.
Like, it's not going to end there. They want all of us out of sight and out of mind. I think that's really important. And, even though we lost this election, like, we need to be politically active this year.
More.
You and I are, but we need to be more, and we need to get more of our community involved. And that means, registering to vote. It means
Having those conversations.
having the conversations with your friends who maybe aren't politically active, family members who aren't voting, who aren't even registered to vote. And we need to make ourselves aware of what's happening on the state level too, and figuring out what policies we want to support, what legislators we want to support, and make sure that our feelings are known, because these people do represent us. So I think that's really important. On an individual level, I think we need to make sure that we practice self-acceptance. You and I think, are at that stage in our lives, but a lot of people aren't at that stage in their lives, especially in the gay community. We grow up with oftentimes, more often than not probably, with so many issues just because of our identity. And we carry that many times into adulthood. We might have problems with our family, and we might not have problems with our family, but we carry all of these things, and then their body image issues on top of that. So there's so much that we specifically as gay people carry with us, and we have a hard time with self-acceptance. We have a lot of internalized homophobia, many of us.
Definitely.
So I think it's really important that we as a community, we as friends, support each other and make sure that everybody knows you are amazing as you are. You are a beautiful person on the inside, who you are, and help lift other people up. I also think we as a community in general should commit to our physical and mental health. And that can be a challenge for many of us, because it's really just fundamental stuff like making sure you get enough sleep, eating right, surrounding yourself with the right people, keeping a positive energy and attitude in your life, trying to limit the substances you put in your body, like alcohol and drugs, and all of that stuff doesn't necessarily sound fun to a lot of people.
No, I mean,
But as someone who has practiced a lot of those things, you'll appreciate it when you get to a certain age.
for sure. I mean, there's just a huge sex and drug problem within the gay community. I mean, it's factual. Like, it is a thing. Like, it is a problem, and it comes from us not being content with ourselves. That's where it is. We think that doing these things are going to fulfill the missing parts in our life, and just because we're having good times in the moments, nothing else exists. But in reality, the more you are in those moments, the more you're not in reality, and the more you are actually disconnecting with yourself. So sometimes taking a pause from those things and really reflecting with yourself is healthy.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are in the mood to be the best version of themselves. But it takes work. And it takes being content with yourself.
Yeah.
As long as you're working towards something, you can tell yourself and give your mind ease that we're on a way to something. You might not see it instantly, but if you're working, you'll get there.
Yeah. Success never comes instantly. True happiness with yourself never comes instantly.
There's still times where I look in the mirror and I'm like, am I too small, or what is this? This should be a little tighter. But then I'm like, what? I'm working out 5 times a week.
Yeah.
I am thankfully eating every single day, multiple times a day.
Right.
Blessed. Be content with yourself, Julio. You are working, you're doing the things that you need to do. Whatever your body is, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
That's who you are at the moment. But I am still putting those work. I could work harder if I want to, but I'm not training anything specifically right now. So be happy with yourself.
Absolutely.
And I do end up being happy with myself.
Yeah. You're ahead of the game. My last thought is to prioritize meaningful connections, whether that's your biological family, your chosen family, a romantic partner, a best friend, whatever that may be. meaningful connections. And that goes into a lot what we're saying with this other stuff too. We can look to fill ourselves up with all of these external things that feel good at the time. But if you focus on the stuff that has real meaning, the stuff that breeds positivity and joy and light into your life and other people's lives, if you invite that in, you're going to feel better. You're going to be a better member of the community. And I think you're just going to lead a happier life.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So seek out those meaningful connections.
Which a lot of this we've been preaching all year.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a recap of the year and where we're headed and what we need to do. Because, I mean, this is a podcast about growth and positivity.
Yeah.
For the most part, with a little whoreness in the middle.
Whoreness.
Hey, you brought up Pornhub, not me. That was all you, sir.
I'm just giving the people what they want.
Yeah. But we're going to make it a good year. We're going to make it the best year we can with what we got, because that's what we do. And the only way is up. We're not going back.
Right.
To anything
right.
that isn't promoting and benefiting us physically and mentally. It's not happening.
That's right.
Give me one word to describe what your 2025 is going to be like.
My word for 2025 will be abundance.
Okay.
And I don't necessarily mean wealth or anything, but just an abundance of joy and light and happiness, great friends, and not necessarily thousands of friends, but the friends will be great friends. Abundance with success in work, in health, in happiness. That's my word for 2025. What's yours?
Mine, I'm going to go with triumphant.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to push myself more this year than I ever have. And I want to do the best that I can in everything that I do. I might not come on top, but I will be victorious in my own way.
Yeah.
So, triumphant.
That sounds great. So we are going to take a couple of weeks off after this podcast. So we won't have a new episode for the week of Christmas or the week of New Year's. Okay. We're going to be busy. They're going to be busy. They're not going to be tuning into us on Christmas Day. So we're
Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
And holidays if
absolutely.
It's not Christmas.
Yeah, and get ready for a triumphant and abundant new year in 2025. Absolutely. All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the new year.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.